When you're confronted, the best defense is an offense. You go on the attack. That's how I do my apologetics. Yeah, that's exactly, if you pay attention. When I know someone's going to bring an argument, I not only respond, but I turn it against them and then decimate their objection. This is actually the Jeet Kune Do, Christianized Jeet Kune Do for apologetics. Apologetics. Psalm 91, 11 to 12.
11 to 12. Wait, okay. For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all ways. On their hands they will bear you up, lest you strike your foot against a stone.
Okay, now, this is what they quote to show that, see, God saved Jesus from crucifixion, right?
Yeah.
But they don't read verse 13, do they? What does 13 say?
He will tread on the lion and the adder, the young lion and the serpent you will trample underfoot.
Okay, so notice what they didn't quote to you. Verse 13, where it says, this one will crush and destroy the serpent, the lion under his foot. Now, let me tell you who the serpent, the adder, the lion is. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Go to 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8.
1 Peter.
Chapter 5, verse 8.
Be sober-minded, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour.
So who is likened to a lion?
The devil.
Okay, now, who's the serpent? Go to Revelation 12, verse 9.
Revelation. Again, Revelation.
Yes, Revelation 12, verse 9.
12, verse 9. And the great dragon was thrown down.
The great who?
Great dragon.
Yep.
Was thrown down, that ancient serpent who is called the devil and Satan, the deceiver of the whole world. He was thrown down to the earth, and his angels were thrown down with him.
So who's the serpent?
The devil.
And he's the lion, right?
Yeah.
Now go to Genesis 3, 14 and 15.
Genesis
3, 14 and 15.
The Lord God said to the serpent, because you have done this to the serpent.
So that's who, according to Revelation?
The Satan.
Okay, so what did God say to Satan, the serpent? Watch.
Because you have done this, cursed are you above all livestock and above all beasts of the field. On your belly you shall go, and dust you shall eat all the days of your life.
All the way to 15. Don't stop.
I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and her offspring. He shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel.
Now catch it. The seed, the offspring of the woman, will crush the head of the serpent when the serpent strikes his heel. So when the serpent gets close enough to strike his heel, that's deadly, right?
Yeah, okay.
But that means he's now in the vicinity of the foot of the seed of the woman. So he gets a bite and he crushes his head, right?
Yeah.
So understand the prophecy. You, serpent, you're going to strike the heel of the seed of the woman, but because now you're by his foot, you're now close enough to him, crush your head, right?
Yeah.
Now, the serpent is the devil, the seed of the woman is Jesus. Go to Galatians 4:4.
Verse 4.
Yep.
Okay. But when the fullness of time had come, God sent forth his son, born of woman, born under the law.
So Jesus is a seed of the woman, right? Not of a man?
Again?
Jesus, the Son of God, is the seed of the woman, born of a woman, not of a man, right?
Yeah.
So he's the seed of the woman.
Yeah.
And what is he going to do? And you read Psalm 91:13. He's going to trample, crush the serpent, the adder, the lion under his foot, right?
Yeah.
How did Jesus do that? How did he crush Satan, defeat him?
Through his death.
Yes. Now, through his death. That's when the serpent bit him, because he bit him, meaning he caused the seed to die. That was the cross. But now, because of that vicinity, the cross, which was the serpent's biting the seed, was now the weapon that the seed used to crush his head.
Okay.
So it's part of God's plan that Jesus would not stumble against the stone until he reached the cross, because it was at the cross that he would destroy and crush the head of the serpent.
Okay.
So he trampled under the serpent because of the cross. In other words, nothing would stop Jesus from failing his mission to reach the cross, because at the cross, that's where Satan, the serpent, would bite him. And now, by being under the feet of Jesus, the cross would be the seed of the woman's way of crushing his head.
Okay, I got this.
So what's the problem?
Now I think everything is clear.
So there's no problem, is there?
Yeah.
And now let me give you another shock. Are you ready to be shocked?
Yeah.
All right, go to John 19:17. Let me shock you a little more. And isn't it ironic? It's Satan, the very serpent, who's quoting Psalm 91:11-12 against Jesus, but he didn't quote verse 13.
Yeah.
Why is that ironic? Because 13 is about him being crushed under the foot of the very one he's tempting. And he didn't quote it, did he?
Wait.
In Matthew and Luke, when Satan quotes Psalm 91:11-12, he didn't quote verse 13, did he? Because
Actually,
Satan in Matthew 4 and Luke 4, when he's tempting Jesus, he quotes Psalm 91:11-12. Why didn't he quote verse 13? Why didn't Satan quote verse 13?
Because he didn't want to.
Because
he
that's
didn't
the
want
verse.
to admit that he's going to be crushed.
Yes, that's the verse that talks about this seed of the woman crushing him, trampling him, the serpent, the lion, under his foot. And why do you think that Muslims, when they typically quote this, except the person you did, either don't quote 13 or ignore 13 and fail to see how the Psalm is saying the seed of the woman, the one who dwells in the secret place of God, will not fail in his mission, because God will watch over him until he crushes the head of the serpent. But the way he crushes the head of the serpent is by dying on the cross. In other words, the psalm is saying he will not fail from reaching his destination of being nailed to the cross as a way of destroying the serpent under his foot. That's what it's actually saying.
Okay.
Now, I want you to read John 19:17.
1917. Okay. And he went out bearing his own cross to the place called the place of a skull, which in Aramaic is called Golgotha.
Now, I want you to use your imagination. In Aramaic, Golgotha means a skull.
Okay.
You're seeing a mound that's shaped like a skull, a head, right?
Yeah.
And what you're seeing is Jesus on a cross and one of the beams going into the heart of that mound, right? Because that beam that's holding up would be then planted deep into the ground, right?
Again.
Okay, friend, pretend you're seeing a movie in front of your eyes. Astaghfirullah. Here's a scene in front of your eyes. There's a mound that's shaped like a skull. There's a cross, crucifix. One of the beams will look from your vantage point as going into the head of the mound, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to dig that beam into the ground for it to stay stable, right?
Yeah.
And so from your vantage point, it looks like that beam is piercing the skull, right?
Yeah.
Because that's symbolic of Jesus now crushing and piercing the head, the skull of Satan.
Okay.
There you go. The Jeet Kune Do Christianized Jeet Kune Do for apologetics. The Jeet Kune Do Christianized Jeet Kune Do for apologetics. Christianized Jeet Kune Do for apologetics. The Jeet Kune Do Christianized Jeet Kune Do for Christianized Jeet Kune Do for Jeet Kune Do Christianized Jeet Kune Do for apologetics. The Jeet Kune Do Christianized Jeet Kune Do for apologetics. Christianized Jeet Kune Do for apologetics. The Jeet Kune Do Christianized Jeet Kune Do for apologetics. Christianized Jeet Kune Do for apologetics. the Jeet Kune Do Christianized Jeet Kune Do for apologetics. Christianized Jeet Kune Do for apologetics. Christianized Jeet Kune Do for apologetics. The Jeet Kune Do Christianized Jeet Kune Do for apologetics. Jeet Kune Do for apologetics.